All right, 9:30, and it is time for the Friday Night Hangout. This is where we grab a brew, shoot the breeze, and interact with you live on the internet. Big panel tonight, almost coast to coast, up to the Canadian Shield, I guess. We got a great panel, and as people are settling in their favorite beverage, we'll do the quick round of intros and, of course, what we're drinking tonight. Before we get to that, just a quick reminder that you can watch the show live. You can scrub through like a DVR, or you can watch the replay once we're done about 10-15 minutes after the show. And, of course, we have the audio-only podcast version, which is doing good every week. All right, let's start with the round of intros from Quebec, Laval. We've got Jocelyn back from the grave, back from the dead with us. So,
after a few months, yeah.
Yeah. Good to have you back in. Switching over to Cape Breton, we got Carrie with us, Stag Gunner, or SDA Gunner. And,
good evening. Good evening.
All right. And we got in the downtown core. On the peninsula, we got Krista with us.
That's right.
Bite-sized North End, Bite-sized Travel. You can check her blog out. Switching over to the Valley, we got Lee, Hoogly Beer and Booze Reviews on the YouTube. Took a little hiatus, took a little vacation. Now he's back full force, posting videos and such. So.
Believe me, it was no vacation.
And flipping over to the dark side, we got Lori with us.
Hello.
Ready. And if you're checking Twitter, you'll see the beer list that Lori will be consuming tonight because she has no early morning plans on Saturday. And, of course, I'm here in Bedford with you tonight. So we got a number of people jumping in. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. Let's do what we normally do, which is what we are drinking tonight. Let's start with Lori. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, right now I am drinking Garrison Imperial IPA, and almost done. So I will be quickly shifting to Weyerbacher Double Simcoe.
All right, excellent. All right, Lee, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm on Garrison Irish Red tonight.
Oh, okay. Something you don't get a lot very often.
No, I mixed it up a little bit tonight, just for the hell of it.
Good stuff. Krista, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking the Boxing Rock Unobtainium.
Ooh. How are you liking that?
I love it. I had it from a cask earlier. I'm drinking it from a bottle tonight. It's all good.
All right, excellent. We'll switch over to Carrie, and Carrie, just need to unmute yourself here. Perfect. What are you drinking tonight?
Big Spruce Serial Killer tonight.
All right, some Serial Killer Stout. Excellent. Jocelyn, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a bit of a monster, so I apologize for how I might act later. It's the Weizenbach from the most excellent Trois Mousquetaires brewery right here in Quebec. It's a 10.5% beer, so...
Jocelyn also has no early morning plans tomorrow.
No.
No, actually, I am driving to Quebec City in the morning, so for meetings all weekend. Joy.
Yeah, that's You want to have that little buzz in your head during the meeting. Pay attention.
Well, it's a 750 ml bottle times 10.5%, and you can do the math.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't end well.
And I am drinking Garrison's, the Baltic Porter. It's getting cold out, a little bit of snow.
Nice.
So I have a little something here, a little bit of kick. This is a 9% beer, so that is starting off pretty good. So let's start off with, before we start off with the topics here, just, well, actually, let's start with the first, since I mentioned snow. Winter is coming. We had our very first panic media report today that snow was coming to Nova Scotia, and depending where you were, inland or in the valley, perhaps you got some snow. Lee, did you get some snow in the valley today?
Oh yeah, just a massive blizzard. Just a little powdering on the ground. What are we, England? All of a sudden crying about snow? You know, they get like 1 inch and they can't deal with it. I mean, come on.
Well, did schools early up there, or?
I have no idea. I haven't been to school in years. Come on now.
There was a fair amount of panic citywide in Halifax, and it didn't snow in the city.
But luckily the snow melted and became rain here in the city, so it wasn't too bad.
I don't understand. Okay? I grew up in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, and I do not understand why the first snowfall in the province of Nova Scotia, everybody shits their pants. I don't understand it.
Maybe they realized they didn't put enough in the budget for the salt and stuff this year.
But all of a sudden, people are like, oh my god, I didn't put the winter tires on. I don't know what I did with the winter tires. It's November.
But it's like every year, it's like, I'm in Canada? Like, there's some, like, shocking realization all of a sudden that this, you know, kind of crispy weather befalls us and all of the attendant unfortunate misfortunes that come along with that. But people just take complete bloody leave of their senses. Like, a woman came to my work today that did not wear a coat.
Outrageous.
Well,
Carrie,
Canada, man.
let's go to Cape Breton. Carrie, is it snowing outside right now, or is there panic up in Cape Breton?
Yeah, there's panic. It's all raining. It's raining cats and dogs here right now where we are, but apparently up in the Highlands we're getting snow up there, and my wife has to go work up there tomorrow, so she's going to be happy she has the truck.
All right.
With very good tires on it, by the way.
Studded tires?
No.
Jocelyn, you're in the Montreal where winter is totally different than it is.
Yeah, winter. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to. Although one bonus is that I'm not ever going to have to shovel again, except perhaps my balcony. That's it. But we had a few snowflakes today, so it was kind of an awakening. I have to get the winter tires on the car because here it is law. So everybody must have winter tires.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel like I got to get my winter tires on.
But it's not a really big thing. I mean, it's just part of living in Montreal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this city gets the most snow of any major city in the world. So it's just a fact of life. This is where I grew up, and after 10 years in Halifax, I'm back to reality.
Yeah, you're opening up the old moving box of the real winter clothing that you put away.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Suddenly, I'm going to have to deal with -20 on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
this is where Jocelyn attaches a barrel of windshield wiper fluid, because the one that comes with the car is too small. He'll need the actual 10-gallon wiper fluid.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick check on comments here. Off to a great start here and a great panel tonight. We see some Twitter activity here, but before we get to that, we'll give a chance for the boys to refresh the pages. Remember, you can comment and we'll get to them on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and of course on the show page on avoidingchores.com. Before we get to that, let's give a quick shout out to some of the friends of Avoiding Chores here. INREACH Canada, the two-way satellite messenger if you're doing outdoor hiking and such. They got their holiday promo going on right now when you activate a new InReach device. You can check details out on their page or on their Facebook page. The Trail Shop here in Halifax is open on Sundays until Christmas, starting this weekend, and they have their anniversary sale on right now. So at least some stuff 20% off, and hey, stuff might be more. PICAROONS, they got their Feels Good Imperial Pilsner out right now.
That's a good beer.
And
very good beer, very good beer.
Almost hinting that the distribution might be a little bit better this year, so we might actually see it. We do see it in some of the privates here, but we might see it a little bit more. So That's it for this segment for our friends. We'll mention a few more friends later on in the Hangout. But now let's go to the comments. Carrie, what do we have on YouTube page?
YouTube from Stuart Grandy. He says he's drinking a Boxing Rock Vickers Cross.
Mm.
Solid.
That's one of the beers I miss.
We'll have to fix that.
You invite us up, we'll bring you up some.
Yeah, right on.
GC Storm says, welcome back, Jocelyn. He's drinking some of his home brew cream ale.
All right.
Slow River says, hey guys, he's drinking an Arctic Circle ale from Finland. He says,
Ooh.
Wow.
He says he doesn't know what it tastes like, though, as he also got some Hakka takeout and his mouth is on fire. Yeah, yep. That's it.
All right. Hey, doing the Arctic beer. Last week we had Krista with an Icelandic beer. So
That's right.
good stuff. All right. And any other comments, Carrie, on the YouTube page?
No, that's all.
That's it for now. All right, let's switch over to Lee. Anything on the Avoiding Chores page?
Yeah, we got one from Bluefin. He says, hey gang, maybe late this evening. I'm going out for a feed of wings, and I'll take in an Ice Caps AHL hockey game this evening. I did just finish a pale ale from my keg. Should be empty very soon. I hope I'm not too late. Last week's show was awesome. Oh, he sent that 4 hours ago.
That's good. It's good that Mike checked in there from Newfoundland there to with us here. Hopefully we'll see him a little bit later here. I'm just checking on Twitter. You can all follow using the Friday Night Hangout hashtag. And Husker Mold says that Laurie's coming out strong with the takeover tonight. And he is drinking a Hell Bay English Ale.
We're trying to do better, because last week he said that Laurie and I didn't drink enough, so we're trying to live up to a standard. This one's for you, buddy.
Excellent. All right, let's move on to the next story here. And it was kind of breaking during the hangout last week here. We're going to talk about James Cuthburt, the 71-year-old that went missing in Eastern Passage last week. Found his car at North Sydney, where police said he kind of got on the ferry by foot and closed the case. And if you read the press releases, they kind of, in the release from the family, it does sound like he jumped overboard during the ferry to Newfoundland. So that is a very sad story, and something we don't hear very often. I don't know if it's one of these things that we do hear about people doing that kind of stuff on the ferry. It's definitely the first time for me. I don't know.
I've never heard of it ever. You know, and of course, growing up in Newfoundland, it was just I was stunned, saddened. Of course, nobody ever wants to see a story end that way. But I can't ever recall somebody using that method to do that.
To call it a day.
Yeah.
That would be a tough way to go.
Yeah.
Well, the whole story was just kind of terrible with with what we knew and what was in the public domain. And I did kind of cut myself off from media coverage from it at some point, because various media outlets would post it on their Facebook feeds, for example, and then there would be this steady stream of comments, like horrible comments from people like, geez, I hope he didn't kill himself, and the police aren't telling us everything. It's like, well, it's an active investigation. Like, the police don't have to tell you anything. They're providing you with the amount of information that's appropriate for the public to have, and I think I just kind of reached my threshold with these things being out in the public domain for people to comment on, when most people do not seem to possess the good judgment to treat these things with the sensitivity they might warrant. Like in this case, where it didn't end well.
They have people who comment on news sites usually have too much time and too few jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And the trend now with a lot of these sites is to turn off the comments. You look at the policies of Chronicle Herald, where I believe commenting is for subscribers, paid subscribers only.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Those comments are a cesspool.
And the Associated Press, I think it was, or Reuters, I can't remember which one, they turned off their commenting system entirely for that. So, as Krista said, it is a, comments, just like the YouTube comments are, not this one, not our comments, but but reader comments on newspapers and Facebook posts. If you read any of the posts on RCMP or newspapers on Facebook, it is just a dark cesspool.
Well, on a totally unrelated thing, I can relate to the lack of judgment in comments, because a couple of weeks ago there was a story about my daughter in the paper. And my daughter was the one who found the first one who found a pin in a candy bar during Halloween. And she was all over the news, all over the paper, and of course the comments, and I know for a fact it's my daughter, right? I know that this wasn't a made-up story. She actually found a pin in the paper. She actually is one of those kids that has been, brought up to actually break open the candy bars to make sure there's nothing inside because her parents are paranoid. So, she actually did that, found a pin, it was on the news, was reported to police, and the comments on the Metro Halifax website were absolutely unbelievable. Accusing a kid of making up a story. None of these people know us, know our family, know her, know the story, but yet they say, oh, no, I don't believe this is true. Like, who are you to actually cast judgment on this?
But I'm kind of at the point with all of this where it's like, why do you think your opinion contributes anything to whatever the subject is, whether it's something very minor or whether it's something of great significance? And I really have met my threshold with this stuff. I say don't read the comments a lot, but I just implore people, for the sake of humanity, just stop reading them altogether.
Hey, careful, Krista, because all we do here is emit our opinions.
Well, that's true. I'll give you that.
All right, let's move on to the next topic, and then we'll do a quick round of comments here. Halifax Water launches...
These commenters are the best, though.
Oh, yeah. True. They are. Halifax Water launches a first-of-its-kind energy system. So this is basically where they put essentially a hydro generator in the water pipe to take advantage of the water pressure, and it's set up in Bedford. And apparently, there's enough water pressure, or unused water pressure. I don't know how they have this set up, but they're taking the water pressure in a section of Bedford, and they're able to sell the power back to Nova Scotia Power, which is the equivalent to power 25 or 30 homes.
That's amazing. It's all those sources of potential energy with, that you just don't think about, and it just takes a creative mind to harness some of that potential power and create something. It's unbelievable.
Well, I kind of want to have that machine and put it in front of my tap so I can,
Your water tap or your beer tap? Because one of the two will give out more power.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to hear Nova Scotia Power actually shelling out money for once instead of greedily swiping it for people.
Yeah. I think this is a great innovation there, and as Justin said, take advantage of that kinetic energy that's right there. Forget about tidal energy. Talk about waterworks power. That's a great way. And I guess this wasn't a big investment. It was $500,000, 25% under budget.
That was the shocking information in that article.
Yeah.
I would have been more shocked. Again, I don't know if they completed it within the time frame, but that would also be very impressive if they completed it within the time frame, because that is also not a forte of theirs.
It must be one of these things that's just easy peasy. You just plug it in and just like,
fantastic.
It just works. All right, let's do a quick check on the comments, and just a reminder for all the viewers here that you can check comments, or you can type in your comments via Twitter at one of our multiple hashtags, or via our Twitter accounts. You can also comment on YouTube, Google+, and on the show page on avoidingchores.com. Let's start with Lee. Lee, do we have anything on avoidingchores.com?
No, let's check back in another 4 hours and see if there's anything there.
Mike's not back yet from the hockey game. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully he'll be back. Quickly on Twitter, Michelle McCann says here regarding the news sites and stories, she says in uppercase, never read the comments. It makes me weep for humanity. Empathy is an endangered emotion.
After being on YouTube for 6 years, I can attest to the lowest forms of life are commenters for the most part.
Yeah, true story.
All right, Carrie, what do we got on the YouTube?
One comment from Slow River. He says it's not in the schedule that we posted, but he'd be interested to hear my takeout on the fake soldier in Ottawa.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Might as well take the opportunity. I think I just saw the story today. So.
Well, you know, I was actually
really?
watching the ceremony when CBC cut to this guy, and he, you know, honestly, like I'm not in the military. I know members of the military, but you know, he presented very legitimately, and so to watch all of this unfold is utterly fascinating when you think about the kinds of people that get, I don't know, inspired to do something like this now because of the internet or the access to kind of instant fame, or maybe he thinks that he's kind of honoring people who serve in the armed forces or people who've served in the armed forces some way. I don't know. It is messed up, though.
Now, let's go back a bit, and I know there's probably a few people that don't know what we're talking about, so just give a quick overview of who we're talking about or what prompted.
Sure. I can give a quick summary. It's a man who presented himself as Sergeant Frank Gervais, and I believe he was presented as attached to the Army and had various medals and insignia representing a paratrooper unit and some specialized training, and also some service medals from, I believe, Kosovo, and as well as either bravery or meritorious service. He had a collection of items that weren't run-of-the-mill service medals, and it very quickly got away from him.
Yeah. Like anyone who's actually in the military usually catches people like this real quick. Like you see this stuff happen in the U.S. a lot, where people will pose as soldiers and they'll go on book tours and things like that. Like it happens all the time. You see it, and it's like these people, they just, you know, they're mentally defective in some regards, but they're basically just con men. You know, they're looking for some sort of fame or regard for this nonsense, and when they get found out, well, they take a major fall after that.
Well, the National Post actually looked at kind of broke it down where the various deficiencies in his uniform presentation were. And, I mean, for what it's worth, he looked like he actually invested a lot of energy, I guess, in assembling this. He just got most of it completely wrong.
He was probably a weekend warrior of some sort, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my apparently he's a construction worker in Ottawa, and I guess the press, you know, they kind of hounded him at his house and hounded at his job, and I guess his boss said, well, you know, we're going to take a look at his employment. You know, not quite the type of character we want working for us, that kind of stuff.
But he wore this getup at his wedding. Like, it's in his wedding pictures. It's,
really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So whatever kind of fraud is being perpetrated here has been going on for some time anyway.
Well,
How does his wife feel about this?
I don't know, man.
Like this is stuff that you hear people do when they're wearing like Star Trek uniforms, right?
Yeah, the cosplaying.
Yes, except that Star Trek is just, you know, make believe.
Yeah, so definitely crossing the line here where he's actually trying to.
You know, nobody believes he was actually in Star Trek.
Yeah, there's the potential for actual, you know, like criminal intent in something like this because, like I said, people in the U.S. have been caught doing this, and they've been doing it for personal gain and things of that nature, like writing books, public speaking, things of that nature, and then they get found out, and then there's a big blow up about it. But
Or even just like getting a free pancake breakfast, or getting preferential seating, or boarding an airplane. Because in the States, if you're in uniform, you can board ahead of everybody else. And there are these minor benefits that are ascribed to being a soldier in uniform. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work. Like the most I can muster is trying to pass myself off as like a grown-up.
Any other comments, Carrie, on the YouTube page before we move on?
No, but I'd like to comment on that because
Yes.
it is something that is close to my heart and everything else. It is in the Criminal Code of Canada. It is an offense to impersonate a soldier as well as a policeman and stuff like that. It is in the National Defense Act. It is an offense to wear medals that are not yours. There was a high-ranking colonel that was found out the same way. So stolen valor is a big thing that is dear to the hearts of soldiers. And like they said, they pointed him out easy. He's a fake. Unfortunately, his whole life is going to be ruined because his beautiful wife was conned by this guy. So that's rather unfortunate. And it will. You're going to do something stupid, it's going to be found out.
I wonder how she was conned, though. I mean, did he say he was a soldier in the past and he was retired now? I mean, where's his pension? Where's that coming in?
He was there. He was just at the Remembrance Day ceremony in uniform, and it was just one of these CBC reporters that roams through the crowd after the service and just talks to random people about how they feel about what happened or what they just witnessed. Because, of course, this Remembrance Day was very emotional in Ottawa, and they had just rededicated the National War Memorial to encompass all soldiers who have served, just not the First, Second, and Korean conflict. So, they're also filling time on their broadcast, and she just kind of walked up to what looked like the first guy she saw in a uniform and just started talking to him. So, I mean, had it not been for that almost accidental sequence of events, he probably could have continued to do this for years without anyone cutting onto it.
So, what we're saying, though, is like, was his wife really conned? I mean, it seems like she must have known that he was lying all this time. I mean,
I don't know.
I just put Frank Gervais in the Google, and CBC has a number of articles here. At one of the headlines that he is receiving death threats. But psychologists here says that extreme narcissism can lead to the delusional pursuit of attention.
Yeah, he might have a real small man syndrome, where he needs to be better because he thinks his life's so pathetic,
But for the death threat stuff, like, internet, calm down. Everything does not have to result in a death threat. Like, just
he's going to get it. He's going to get it pretty bad for doing this anyway. He's going to be ruined.
There's there's 3 battalions in the Royal Canadian Regiment that are probably just looking for him right now. That's 3 battalions of over 500 men. So,
they can sort things out like that, but you don't, like, we need to stop threatening to kill people every time they do something that we don't necessarily agree with. It is not a constructive way to problem solve.
Yeah, stupid doesn't get solved by stupider.
Yeah, that just goes back to the YouTube comments and forum comments thing we were talking about earlier. Same sort of mentality, same sort of people, immediately want to start making death threats and stuff like that. It's like, come on, get over it.
I mean, honestly, like, that is a pretty messed up brain that goes, the first thing I'm going to do is threaten to kill this person.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on for that. I think we added our piece here. I noticed here on the Google Plus comments here that Jason Spears is watching us here, and he's having a homebrew oatmeal stout tonight, so I don't know if that was from the Google Plus or the YouTube comments, but it just popped up on my feed here, so welcome, Jason. Another Kate Bretner watching. Let's do a quick round of what we are drinking tonight, since we have a number of people watching here, and you are watching to the Friday Night Hangout. Jocelyn, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh man, I'm still milking the same one. It's really good. It's not my type of beer, but I'm actually enjoying it. It's the Weizenbock from Trois Mousquetaires, 10.5%. Wow, it's a huge beer.
Nice.
You have to say it like a German. It's a Weizen beer.
Weizenbock.
Carrie, what are you drinking tonight?
Serial killer from my good friend Jeremy.
Serial Killer Stout from Big Spruce.
Really good beer.
Yes, sir.
Krista, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking the Boxing Rocks Unobtainium, their Intrepid Amber Ale, and it is presently my favorite thing in the world to consume.
Ooh. Lee, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm still on the Garrison Irish Red.
Is it the same bottle, or did you move on to another bottle?
Oh, I'm on a second bottle now. Actually, technically my third bottle.
Proper thing.
Lori, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I am drinking the Weyerbacher Double Simcoe, which is a 9% double IPA out of and Weyerbacher's out of Pennsylvania, I believe, and Andrew Murphy, Monochrome God, put me onto this this time last year, and I very much enjoy this beer.
All right. Anything that pops out for that beer? Like in terms of flavors, anything like any?
For me, I think it has it's very it's like a kick you in the face kind of I'm not I don't enjoy IPAs that are kind of missish. I like them that are like kind of grab you by the face and go rah, and this one does. There's a bit of a citrus undertone, but it's actually quite lovely. They have a quad as well, which I don't enjoy as much as the double. And I must say I've bought this a couple of times when I've been down in Maine, and it's just a solid double IPA.
Yeah, Simcoe's an intense hop. It's one of the stronger ones.
It is. There's nothing mild about it.
Some people say it tastes and smells like cat pee.
Having not smelled cat pee in any amount, I cannot comment on that.
It has an ammonia note. Is that what you're getting at?
No, it's just got a very intense, like.
Yeah, it is.
Such a intense pine smell that it goes over to some sort of other level.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Lee. I gotta say. Yeah.
All right, and I am drinking the Garrison Grand Baltic Porter, which seems to be on shelves for a very long time down at the brewery. So.
Oh, that must be nice.
It is nice. That's why I'm getting my hands on them. That's why, son.
Nobody else knows what a porter is. That's why.
Where am I here? I was just scrolling through here. Okay, let's quick shout out to some of our buddies here. North Brewing down here in Halifax here. They got shirts, hoodies, and sweaters available at the brewery, so you can be decked out in their black and white regalia. Garrison Brewing, they're just out. Well, they were out. They're back in. They're brewing actually their spruce beer right now. And they were out.
Oh, God, love them out there. They were cutting spruce out in the snowstorm today.
It was very seasonal.
The snowstorm.
Day that they did that.
Storm.
And I noticed their winter warmer in 6-pack format today at Harvest Wine and Spirits today. So winter warmer in 6-pack format. So that's pretty interesting. Hell Bay Brewing out of Liverpool. They're releasing their chocolate tomorrow at the brewery and select restaurants. That's a 6% dark vanilla rum chocolate kind of beer. So
yeah, that sounds all right.
Sounds pretty good, eh? And finally, Sea Level Brewing up in the valley. They get their porter. It's out. Probably one of the best porters in the province. Right, Lee?
Really?
It is the best porter in the province.
No kidding. I haven't tried it.
Yep.
Did they can that? Can we get that down here?
We can. The Port of the Storm, it's a very nice porter.
Nice.
They just started brewing it again, I think, because they weren't all there.
Yeah, there was some issues there, but the backup. So yeah, you can find it here, and let's do a quick round of comments here on Twitter. Let's see here. Husker Mold says here, is anyone on the panel on performance-enhancing drugs tonight?
Yes.
Beer.
Just life, baby. Just life.
Hops.
This is a tough one to pronounce here. Fry Bahali? I know I'm mispronouncing this Twitter handle here, but they're checking out the Friday Night Hangout for the first time, following Lee's lead on the red, neat panel of people I follow on Twitter. So thank you for following us tonight here from Dartmouth. And Husker Mold says here, it must be weird for the panelists to say, don't read the tube comments, but yet you read your YouTube feed comments.
I avoid YouTube comments.
I don't think we ever had any trolls though in our comment section though.
No,
Not really. No, I don't think so.
No,
One of the rare exceptions.
Yeah, we had just committed people here. So
Be cool to be famous enough to get trolls.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next story here, and I'm jumping through a couple of them here just because of time and stuff. But let's do the next one here. Now, this is the big one here. I simply titled it "No Sentence is Good Enough," and that was the big news of the week. Publication ban. I don't know if it applies to us or not, but we're talking about the Rehtaeh Parsons trial. The one of the kids that they had down for child pornography. They had their sentence laid down yesterday, and a lot of people were angry. The Young Offenders Act showed itself, where
Yeah, it was the kid who took the picture and then distributed it. Is the one that was sentenced yesterday. Enjoy life as a human piece of shit.
So he has to submit DNA to the database, write an apology letter, but yet has a clean record because he did it at 18, and the Young Offenders Act is one of these things that when you turn 18, it kind of never happened, kind of deal.
Goes away.
Yeah.
Goes away. Now, I know I was in a bad mood before I start seeing this on Twitter, but I saw everybody, the Twitter sphere, kind of explode when this was coming out in live tweeting and stuff. So it's like, well, it's almost like we got what we got in terms of our society and our system and our Young Offenders Act. So in a way, it's like we have our Young Offenders Act where it's like, we saw the effects of that, but yet everybody wanted the U.S. style of justice where no matter what age you are, when you do a serious crime, you do the time and stuff. And I was kind of juggling between the two things where the people who were not arguing or shouting the loudest were kind of like against. I don't know if I'm making the point clear, maybe because the Baltic border is hitting me and stuff like that, but it's kind of like not accepting the society that we're in today and knowing that if you're under 18, there's that expectation that there is that opportunity to rehabilitate, and you're not expected to do hard time and dig ditches.
I think this is hard to reconcile because we do have such a progressive approach to youth criminal justice, but at the same time, the way that women and young women are being treated in society is very front of mind for a lot of people right now. Yeah. I think that's what's really difficult to get your head around, because we have had about a good solid 2 months now of people really talking about these things and really having their perspectives, I don't want to say changed, but certainly improved by the quality of discussion that's going on about how particularly young women are treated by others in society. And it's really tough to see a family who has already gone through something pretty appalling just walk away with nothing from it. And I mean, you have to be inhuman to not kind of hurt a little for them, because these kids get to go, and their names are easy to find. They're out there. We're all on the internet. We're all pretty resourceful people. You can figure out who these kids are. It will take you less than 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But these two parents who are seemingly nice, who are nice people, they didn't ask for any of this, and their child unfortunately has become kind of this central figure in this story, and she's gone, and she has no way to control the story about her now. But these guys go and get to have completely unimpacted lives, and as time goes on and people get distracted by other things, people are going to stop caring who those guys are. But this girl's name is going to float around forever on the internet attached to this thing, and just some really just horribly cruel things that happened to her along the way. And it's just tough to look at it and try to be objective and go like, oh well, like at least society's better for it, because I don't think we are.
Mm.
Yeah, just makes me wonder if it turns out to be one of these unfortunate things where sometime down the road where these guys are legally adults, they end up offending again, and then it's like, then you kind of question, like, was it right to basically let them get off scot-free like we have because of the justice system?
Mm.
They should be punished somehow. I mean, this should be something that should hang on their shoulders. I mean, when do you say these guys are rehabilitated? I don't know. It's a really hard question to answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a teenager, but like well, he's now a 20-year-old man, but having a 20-year-old man write a note saying he's sorry, basically, to the parents. I mean, for what happened. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It hasn't been that long since I've been a teenager.
Yeah. I agree.
No community service. No. All he has to do is write an apology. There are persons that have done just as bad. I mean, or worse. Maybe they're taking it on the gravity of what it was. There are people that are worse than that doing things, but I mean, they should still get some sort of penance for what he's done.
Yeah, they need to pay. They need to have at least take some portion of their life needs to be taken away from them, because I mean,
or put to better use.
Yeah.
Mm. It's definitely one of these, as Krista said, it's one of these things that will continue to reverberate for a little while still.
No question.
Let's do a quick. Go ahead.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, here's a young woman with endless possibilities and endless potential who is no longer with us. And it was an awful and horrifying thing that happened to her. And to think that at the end of the day, there's just nobody who's being held accountable for what's happened, for anybody, for her parents, for society. I think you kind of have to stand back and look at it and go, and we're wondering why people don't come forward. And I don't just mean women, but men as well, people who don't come forward to tell police and their families or whoever to say these horrible things have come and have happened to me. Because at the end of the day, this young fella or these young gentlemen are marrying along with their life, and she's no longer with us. And I think that is a horrible commentary on our justice system and what we think is appropriate, because she's gone. Her family no longer has her. Her friends no longer have her, and nobody is standing up and saying, you know what, I did an awful thing, and you know what, I deserve what I get. Nobody's doing that.
Mm.
True. Let's check the comments. And just a reminder, everybody, that we do this every Friday. You can comment via Twitter, YouTube, Google+, or woodenchores.com. Once we're done the Hangout, the replay will be available in about 10-15 minutes once we're done. We also have the audio-only podcast version, which I recommend you do subscribe and check it out. Some people do prefer the audio-only version, not because they don't want to see our pretty faces, just, they can't view YouTube on the bus on a Monday morning. So, we're helping people out. Let's go with Carrie. Carrie, is anything on YouTube?
A couple points, and they're not.
Commenters.
No, actually, there's some that have been here for a little while, and there's some that. I'll go back to one of the earlier ones. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Greastain says he won't be one that complains, but I think the publicity ban is foolish and it's a little too late. But beware, because you said her name. If someone does complain, you have to take this video down. Yeah, no, the judge canceled everybody. It's free. You can do. Everybody knows what it is. The other, I think this one here is he's talking about the Sergeant Frank. He says, I swear, he says, I am the only person on the planet that enjoys comedy on YouTube. Does that mean I just ignore the idiots and talk to all the people about something? Okay, that's a totally different story. But anyway, he likes comments on YouTube. Okay. And one more. Actually, two more. One more from Greastain a little while ago. He says, glad to see everyone made it home safe tonight. A lot of people weren't ready for the roads. Yep. And Andy F. asks Krista, says, where does one find this unobtainium? It's unobtainium. You cannot find it.
Oh, sorry, buddy. It is sold out. So it's still being served on cask at both the Stubborn Goat, where I had some tonight, and at Stillwell Beer Bar, where I had some last night in beautiful downtown Halifax. But as far as I know, the bottled supply is gone.
So
I can confirm that because I got the last bottle at Harvest Brewery, or at Harvest Wines here in Dartmouth, and the gentleman who served me said, you have the last bottle in the
all right, and I see a comment here on the Google Plus here. Chino, my friend Chino from the States here, says, hey, ladies and gents, drinking Hibernation Ale from the Great Divide Brewery here in, and it cut off because of the Google Plus notification. It cuts off characters. I don't know why.
Come on,
8.7% of malty goodness from Colorado. There we go. And I thought I saw, I got two more notifications here. Average Joe on Google Plus here says, it's been a long time, but had some time this evening to watch some of the show. I'm drinking a Sierra Nevada Celebration, tasty like every year. Also, I'm disappointed in Lee saying you've never had trolls in the comments. I'm insulted.
We need higher caliber trolls than you, Joe.
Nice to see Jocelyn back. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
That's it. If I missed any of the comments here, it's just because there seems to be a delay between people who put in the comments and between YouTube and Google Plus. So we don't do that on purpose, but just to let you know that we're not seeing it as we're checking it. So let's move on to the next topic here, and we're getting to more of the softer stuff, which is a new cookbook.
Let us lighten the mood, please.
Yeah, let's lighten the mood.
Yeah,
let's talk about food. There's a new cookbook launched in Nova Scotia to help grow the local food economy, and two chefs, the Kilted chef. Ironically, he's from Edmundston, where there's no kilts. He's a bossé. So
Alain, yeah, see.
Alain Bossé.
Alain Bossé.
I went to high school with his brother, but they didn't wear kilts. But anyway, him and the other chef
that
definitely no kilts. There. But they had a cookbook that made up some new recipes and to manage of the local food. I think this is a good thing. However, I think some people are finding some local food fatigue, especially when it comes down to the pocketbook, paying more for local. paying?
I don't know about that. I used to live in the valley, and Lee can correct me if I'm wrong. But the years that I lived in the valley, I found it much easier to buy local food when it was in season. It was much easier to buy local food than I'm finding it in Halifax, honestly. Like because when I lived in the valley, you can just drive around and like pull up in front of someone's farm and just leave your money in the box in the front and take a squash and whatever, and you have your meat guy and you have and it's very easy to do. Whereas here, your options are Superstore, Sobeys, or pizza. It's just a little harder to do. And so the cost argument when you are going out and looking for local produce is because it is more difficult to find, and there are all those other costs built into the price.
I'll tell you, I kind of lived through the local food culture in Quebec 20 to 25 years ago, when there was really the same kind of movement that you see in Nova Scotia today, and I see what's happening in Nova Scotia, even just in Halifax, and the local shops that are opening, and I'm thinking of my friends at Ratino creating some beautiful charcuterie, and this is what happened in Montreal 20 to 25 years ago, and today, coming back to the city here and finding much better food, much cheaper than what I'm used to in Halifax. I think that Nova Scotia is on the right track, and it just needs time to build momentum, and people will actually gravitate towards those not just locally produced food, not just locally grown food, but locally transformed foods. And Ratino is a great example. This is not, all right, yeah, great. They're using local products, but really they're transforming locally and creating value in new products and making some really awesome, foods that people can buy. And I think that momentum is really going to follow through.
Well, I'm with you, Jocelyn, because I live in happen in North End Halifax, but I'm also really lucky because I'm very close to the Hydrostone Market, so I'm really close to Getaway Farms, and they are a great butcher. I buy great meat from them, but they also bring in produce from the farm. And one of the things that I do love, because I do try to travel a fair amount, and one of those things I do like is that when you're visiting places, regardless of where you are, but in most other places in the world that aren't North America, it's very common to go to like one place for this thing and another place for this thing, another place for this thing, and it's not perceived as an inconvenience the same way it is here. It's just what you do, because you go and you have a coffee, and then you go to the boulangerie and you talk to your like bread guy, and then you like go on to the butcher, and then you talk to your meat guy, and then you go to the produce and you chat with the guy that sells produce, and he stands out front and he throws an apple at you, and it's all very charming. And we just have moved so far away from that culture in North America that it just seems like covered in inconvenience now, and it's actually a very normal way to go about one's life.
The ironic thing is, I went to 2 weeks ago. I went to my local IGA, which is the equivalent of Sobeys, right? It's a major, food retailer, and they had, it's their oyster, kind of extravaganza season, and there were Tatamagouche oysters there, and my question is, when's the last time you saw Tatamagouche oysters in a Nova Scotia Sobeys? Never.
Never.
But I got them here at an IGA in suburbia Laval.
Yeah, but Sobeys owns the IGA.
I understand, but because the culture is not quite there in Nova Scotia, that people are demanding this kind of food in a major food retailer, they're just not providing that service. But they are here, right? So there's hope.
In the Sobe stores, the seafood section is always the money loser section in every Sobe store. It's always the worst section. Almost across the board. It's the section that makes no money, sells the least, and doesn't have the most interesting products. It's usually the smallest section in the Sobeys too. So
that is so incongruous. That makes no sense to me.
Good word though, incongruous.
Thank you. That is too obtainium.
Unobtainium, yeah. Hey, you know what's also what's that word you guys just said?
Incongruous.
In Congress.
Mountain Dew is testing a Dorito flavored drink.
That is most definitely incongruous.
Dorito
No,
flavored
this
drink.
is a harbinger of doom. Just abandon all hope.
No, well, they have sodas out there that are bacon flavored and stuff.
Yeah,
I
no,
can do bacon.
you
This
know,
idea is terrible.
this is the trend to drinkify flavors.
Oh.
No.
And
Oh.
yeah, it
No.
does exist.
thanks.
Me and Krista and Lori were talking about it before the hangout started. They're testing this out on some campuses in the States. They have this orange-looking fizzy drink that tastes like nachos.
I will volunteer for the Ebola trial that's happening here before I will drink a Doritos flavored Mountain Dew.
Come on now, let's look at this. You just sit in front of your Xbox, you smoke a couple joints, and you drink this. You don't have to buy the Doritos. You don't get the cheese dust everywhere, and you get to rot your teeth and veg out all at the same time. It's a win-win, isn't it?
I don't think that
Apparently,
level of high has been reached yet that would convince me that that was a good idea.
apparently, it's anything to push the crack cocaine of the food world, which is high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, anything, yeah.
Exactly. Add some caffeine to it and get the kids going. Yep.
Yeah. Doritos flavor, high fructose corn syrup, caffeine, giddy up.
If it's a hit, they'll move it on to their Mountain Dew energy drink line, and they'll have the Doritos energy drink too. You know.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
This idea, it's terrible.
I can't wait to get it next time I'm in Maine.
Why is it even on the hangout? Like, I thought we were better than this.
No.
Why are we fucking with Mountain Dew? This is my question.
Like,
I just want.
come on.
I just want Skittle
I
Brown.
didn't rejoin the hangout to talk about Mountain Dew or Doritos flavored freaking Mountain Dew. I've been away for months,
Mountain
man.
Dew and a bag of Doritos, but never the twain shall meet in one bottle. This is
Why
fuckery.
does a beverage need to taste like cheese? Cheese is fine on its own.
It is.
Yeah, I just want Skittle Brow. You know, the beer with candy in it. You know.
Yes.
That idea is also terrible.
Oh, I can make Skittle moonshine.
Well, you know what, Jocelyn? We got the next story here for you. This should hopefully work out. A thief in Florida got caught stealing a chainsaw in his pants walking out the store. I don't know if you guys saw the video.
I definitely watched that video. It brought me joy on a very dark day.
He stuffed a chainsaw down his pants and tried to
there.
walk out.
Like, pulled out.
It gives new meaning to pulling on the choke now.
It wasn't running, right?
No.
No.
I mean,
That
my
would've
comment
been
was
much-
like, you do you, Florida, because you just crazy and just stay crazy. Stay down there, but stay crazy.
It is crazy. No,
See all
apparently I was gonna say he just threw the chainsaw in the bushes, and I guess he kind of fell.
The practical part of me wonders what size pants he was wearing to fit a large, chainsaw down his trousers.
Well, I
They
watched the
weren't-
video, and they did not look excessively large. It just looked like he pulled them out.
Yeah, but
Were they
weren't skinny.
sweatpants?
They were
Stretchy?
definitely relaxed fit pants.
Yeah, those weren't skinny, skinny
Skinny
jeans right
hipster
there.
pants.
No, I don't think so.
Are
No.
you sure it
No, you
wasn't
gotta-
sweatpants with the stretchy legs and shit? Or like a Lululemon that gets so
No, well-
stretched they become sheer? What is it?
It's
Well, you
kind of
gotta-
hard to tell in the video, but they look like either like light colored jeans or like khaki pants or something like that.
Ugh.
Well, you got to be inconspicuous. It's not like the guy could wear hammer pants in there and do that. I mean, he's so he doesn't want to draw attention to himself, right?
I'm a man.
You listen. if you were
hilarious.
wearing hammer pants, you could hide the chainsaw in a cord of wood.
He had short pants on.
He should have. What he should have did is put on hammer pants and tried to steal it from a Walmart instead.
And then,
Didn't
as
have
you're
Walmart.
exiting the store, you say, "Can't touch this."
Let's do a quick check on the comments, folks. Friday Night Hangout. We do this every Friday. Great panel tonight and great comments from the folks, too. So you can comment via Twitter, via our usernames or hashtags, YouTube, Google+, and avoidingchores.com. We'll get the boys to refresh the pages here. We'll go to Lee. Lee, did Mike make it back from the game yet?
I don't see anything.
Peter, Newfoundland, still not home. It must be a big game. On Twitter, we got Slow Rover says he just switched to an Autumn Hop Harvest Ale from Amsterdam Brewery, I should say. Don't see anything else on Twitter. Carrie, what do we got on the YouTube?
The YouTube is not in order, which is confusing
Sort
to me.
this first.
You can do a sort.
Yeah, you can sort it.
The little drop down box, newest first. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, newest first.
Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, good. I learned something today. Thank you very much. I'm enlightened. Average Joe says on here a couple minutes ago. He says it's been a long time, but he had some time this evening to watch some of the show. He's drinking a Sierra. Okay, we heard that before in one of his other comments.
Yeah.
Anyway, Grease Saint says the ban was lifted, or if it was, my Google foo is weak tonight. Only news outlets that publish her name are international. Okay, that one. GC Storm comment says they're selling that cookbook last night at the Devour Food Truck Rally in Wolfville. And one more from Greastain says you don't buy seafood from Sobeys or any big chain. It'll be dried out factory freeze crap. You go to the wharf and you buy it fresh, just like we do in Cape Breton, because it's fresher that way and it tastes a lot better.
Right.
And you get a better deal.
Yeah, no wharfs here though, and if I went to the wharf on the river here, I wouldn't buy very good stuff. And I can tell you that the stuff I bought at IGA was stellar quality, super fresh, phenomenal.
Well, it probably was super fresh.
That's the problem we have with vegetables and fresh produce. I mean, I'm in Cape Breton, which is almost the end of the world, and then you think about those poor people in Newfoundland, which is really almost more the end of the world. We have to pay that extra cost for those fresh groceries or fresh produce, and it's the only thing we have fresh here is liking eggs and tomatoes.
Here's the real problem. Too many people want their vegetables and fruits way too fresh. I mean, if it's even a couple days old, they're throwing this crap out. I mean, the store I work in, the amount of stuff produce throws out every day is unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Just getting a few comments here on the Google Plus notification here. Greastain says, there's a few stories back here. I swear I'm the only person on the planet that enjoys the comments on YouTube. I mean, I just ignore the idiots and talk to the people that have something interesting to say, kind of like everyday life. Oh well. And another one here from Greastain. I won't be the one that complains, as I think the publication ban is foolish and a little too late. But be aware, because you said her name, if someone does complain, you'll have to take this video down. It's true.
That is true, but there's also been a decision made not to pursue charges against any of the journalists that used her name in Nova Scotia. So. Yeah,
so we're not gonna do more than that, but we all know we were talking about.
Hashtag, you know her name.
And God knows we're not journalists.
Yes, we're not journalists for sure.
No.
Let's do the last topic, which is the Wayback Machine segment. We're going back. This is where a random year. This is where we pick a random year between 1976 and 2014, and we reminisce. This week it is 1988.
Perestroika. In 1988.
We had the Calgary Winter Olympics in 1988.
Yes.
We had the Summer Olympic Games, and was it Seoul?
It was in Seoul, and actually Ben Johnson was stripped of his gold medal because of
Yes.
Ben Johnson. Man, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. How long?
He's the guy. He's the only one that got busted at the time. But if you
Yeah,
go back,
yeah.
there was a really great 30 for 30 about it, and pretty much everyone that showed up on the track that day was dirty as all get out.
He was the fall guy. He was the fall guy. No
Definitely.
question.
Yeah.
You probably like me. 88 just got cable plugged into the house, at least where I was living at the time in New Brunswick. New channels: YTV, Vision TV, Family, Weather Now or Weather Network, Météo Média, and TV5.
I feel old about 1988, you know, because I remember 1988 almost like it was yesterday. And you know who was born in 1988?
Who?
Rihanna, Adele, and Brad Marchand.
Wow.
Ouch. They were born that year, man. Ouch.
I will say though, there's been a fair amount of nostalgia the last week with the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall going on, and I have a fair amount of nostalgia for that time in history. According to Wikipedia, that was also when the first McDonald's restaurant opened in a country run by a communist party. So congratulations, former Yugoslavia.
And did I see an article that McDonald's is pulling out of Russia? Actually, this week? This past week or
I
so?
can't imagine it. I don't know.
It was kind of.
Only if they stop making money at it.
No more McPutins.
No.
Also, 88 was when George Bush Sr. was elected president of the United States right after Ronald Reagan.
And Dan Quayle is his vice president. Clearly a low watermark for that role.
Ouch, ouch. How do you spell potato?
Yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
With an E.
Potato. Some of the big movies, 1988, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's...
Shut up. Really?
I distinctly remember going to the Bridgewater Twin Cinemas to see that, and it was amazing.
I can't remember which theater I was in, but I did see this in the theater. Another big movie, Big.
I thought that was older than that. That's amazing.
No, Big. Bull Durham, also.
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard. Die Hard.
Die Hard, the Christmas classic Die Hard.
The Christmas classic.
Hey, it is. It is probably the best Christmas movie you can find. It's Die Hard.
I think in 1988, wasn't it the free trade agreement was signed then too?
Yeah, it was the subject of most of my social studies exams that year.
It was because I was in law and democracy in grade 10, and my law and democracy teacher, Mr. Brown, and I, Rex Brown, fought about it an awful lot.
It was also when Celine Dion participated in the Eurovision Song Contest representing Switzerland for reasons I do not and may never understand.
Wow.
Wow.
As someone from Quebec, I would be offended by that.
No, you
representing Switzerland.
It's Celine Dion. You can.
Chocolate clocks.
Yeah.
No, I'll surrender her to another province or another country. I don't care.
Celine Dion spends me
money
most
somewhere
every
else.
day. Let's be honest.
Beetlejuice.
Yay!
Beetlejuice and the Naked Gun movie.
Yay!
Willow too. Willow.
Hey.
The movie everyone shits on because it's not Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're not in charge.
And the
Is Willow
class.
the one with David Bowie?
No, that's the one. With
No, that was Labyrinth.
Oh, okay. I'm out.
Yeah, we're talking about was it? Didn't Ron Howard direct that one?
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was also Carpenter's They Live.
And you know, this is actually of high significance because it is Movember time. It was the final episode of Magnum PI.
Oh, huge.
Clearly a cultural low point for us.
Hey, listen, for mustache wearers worldwide, this was, something significant.
The end of an era.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just wait like 5 years, James Franco will be in like some reimagining of it, I'm sure.
Hey, you know what? 1988 was a great year for movies, man. We got Young Guns, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and Rambo 3, and Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, also.
Elvira's funny.
The Russians pulled out of Afghanistan after 8 years.
And everything was solved.
Yeah, and they implemented perestroika, and now it's a total awesome democracy over there in Russia, and everyone's doing well,
And Afghanistan worked out really well, so.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Good one, Russia.
Hey, what we were watching on TV back in 1988, Roseanne, The Wonder Years, Murder.
Did you say Murder, She Wrote?
Murder, She Wrote.
Were you a 60-year-old woman in 1988, Jen?
No, but it was whatever night it was on.
Knock Jessica Fletcher. I'm telling you right now, that stuff is solid. That's some solid shit.
They
they
tried to relaunch Mission Impossible as a TV series.
Yeah, that was bad.
I don't remember that.
I do.
What else we got? What else was big back then?
I just returned from Germany into Canada in 1988 after spending 3 years in Germany. I was in a culture shock. It was different, a wholly different place. For 3 years.
Saint Elsewhere ended in 1988.
And it was an all a boy's dream.
In a snow globe.
Snow globe. Hey, another big show in 1988. Everybody was talking on it on Friday nights. Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, I couldn't watch that. That was like nightmare fuel. It's like a human-sized person with a cat head, and it was like sexy. But I was like,
Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman?
Yeah.
Perlman, yeah. He didn't even need the makeup, really.
No, he really didn't.
He's fine without the makeup. I don't know why they put all that on him.
Because he made a convincing caveman in Quest for Fire, so that was one of his early roles.
I tell you, there's a lot of good stuff, man. Empty Nest, 21 Jump Street, Family Ties was still on, Who's the Boss, Matlock, Murphy Brown, Night Court.
Night Court.
Oh, Night Court. I love that show.
A golden age of crap television.
And also which I think was the start of the trend of the syndicated shows. You had Freddy's Nightmares and Friday the 13th.
Yeah, the Friday the 13th that was totally unrelated to the movies. They just took the name and used it for the series.
Exactly. So there was a lot of bad TV. The start of bad TV. Well,
I watched a hell of a lot of music videos in that era because I was a teenager. So those things were critically important.
Hey, you know what? Music videos.
You know, it was the start. Actually, 1988 was really even though it was still the 80s, it was kind of towards the end of 80s glam music, and grunge was just about to hit, and that was the time when Guns N' Roses just came on the scene, and they had a number one hit with "Sweet Child of Mine." Their first number one hit.
Yeah. I'm just.
Meanwhile, sorry, but at the same time you had Guns N' Roses, you also had "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley.
Hey, do not.
Man.
Hey.
Man, that was the same year.
Do not sass Rick Astley. I'm telling you right now.
Come on.
That was solid musical talent.
Committed to the canon of contemporary pop music with his ability to...
Yeah, I wish I had a cannon.
Yeah.
Hey,
shoot him right out of it. Yeah.
The MTV Video Music Awards were in 1988, and hey, just to go back, George Harrison, When We Was Fab was one of the top songs.
That was a great video, by the way.
That was.
Video of the year, In Excess, Need You Tonight.
Yep.
Oh, man. That is hard to hear.
The best male video was Prince.
No.
At the look. Suzanne Vega, Luca.
Oh my
Best,
God.
female video.
I live on the second floor.
Best new artist was Guns N' Roses, as Jocelyn said. Welcome to the jungle. Best video from a film, Los Lobos, La Bamba.
Oh, yeah.
What?
You know, there was some real defining. You know, a lot of people like to hate on '80s music, but there's a lot of really defining music that came out of that era, and things that are still really, you know, very well known amongst even younger generations that weren't quite around then.
The Reflex
Lost
by
Lovers
Duran
soundtrack?
Duran.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
from a few years before
No,
that, but I like where you're
but
going.
long before then.
Yeah, it was before that.
But that
Oh,
Lost Lobos did the whole soundtrack for La Bamba, and it was fantastic. And I remember I lived outside of Bridgewater at the time, and I walked into town so I could buy the cassette tape the day it came out because I was super into La Bamba.
Mm.
What can I say?
All right, a quick check on comments, and then we'll just shut her down for tonight because we're trying to keep it under an hour. Well, around an hour, not the overtime edition like last week. You have a chance for the boys to refresh the pages here. Just a quick check on the Twitter. Here, Lori said that on Twitter that she dropped the F-bomb a couple times.
I, for one, am shocked by this information.
Did you? I don't
Shocking.
remember the F-bombs, but the S-bombs, yeah.
I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah. Husker Mold asked...
I think there were compound bombs there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Husker Mold says, "Why is there no beer sponsor for the Hangout?" Well, actually,
There are.
there are. So when I do my reads for the
Friends of the Hangout.
Yeah, the Friends of the Hangout. Those are our sponsors. So some are beer, some are not beer. So, yeah.
And may I take this opportunity to thank the sponsors that support the Hangout.
They're good sponsors. They're
I would
awesome.
say you could leave something on my patio, but would almost certainly be stolen overnight. So please don't do that.
Lee, is there anything on the Avoiding Chores website? Did Mike make it back? What? Unbelievable.
Very disappointed by this turn of events.
Carrie, what do we have for comments? We gotta have some comments. Greastain must have left some comments.
He's got a couple. He says he points one to me. He says he is a caper too, but unfortunately I'm not a caper. I just
You
You just found your way there.
yeah. Greastain says he's not going to be cruel, but 1998 was the year he started school.
Oh,
Right.
Come on, man.
Most of us were finishing school.
I turned
Yeah,
21 in '88.
He also played his first game of paintball in 1988, on his way to school, I guess. For the next 15 years of his life, we pretty much revolved around paintball, avoiding getting smacked by paintball.
Yep.
Slow River says Diver is also a solid Christmas movie, but it has nothing on grumpy old men. And that is a Christmas standard.
Oh.
And Greastain comments, he said the last one says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Transformers. Yeah, pretty cool. There,
The cartoon versions, yes.
Because we just came back from Germany and we had a TV and we had unlimited stations and we had a good time watching TV instead of the 3 channels in Germany. Anyway,
No, that's awesome. But back in '88, you were talking about, right? Carrie?
yeah, late years.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
Yeah. All right. So we're just going to end the show for tonight. Another great week. Great panel tonight. Great comments from everybody. Hopefully we got to all of your comments. If we missed your comments, you're either on the YouTube or on the Google+. It's not because we skipped over it, just because we just didn't see it the way that it refreshes and such. We do this every Friday. If you want to watch the replay, it'll be up on the YouTube page or on the Voting Choice page in about 10-15 minutes once we're done. You can also listen to the audio-only podcast version once you've caught up on the latest episode of the Serial podcast. You can listen afterwards.
We can start a whole new hangout after that and talk about that for like 3 hours because
totally. All right, so with that, I'd like to thank the panel. Thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Justin.